Welcome to the Statesboro Herald's 2014 Pigskin Pick'em, brought to you by Seasons of Japan Restaurant and Dr. Troy M. Lawhorn at Statesboro Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery and Dental Implant Center.
And welcome to Week 8 of the Pigskin Pick'em. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by the Statesboro Herald's Matt Yogas, Mike Anthony, and Eddie Ledbetter. We all bow down to Eddie Ledbetter because he is currently in first place with a 39-17 record. Eddie the Fixer. Mike is 34-22. Yogas and Josh tied at 29-27, both over 500. So nobody's losing you money if you're betting with us in Vegas. 4 college, 4 high school, Georgia Southern off this week. Let's begin with Florida State hosting Notre Dame. As of the time we shoot, Jameis Winston still the quarterback. We don't know what's going to happen with him, but we never do. Matt Yogas, your thoughts on Notre Dame FSU?
I'm told by Mike Anthony that if Jameis Winston does not play, the line drops to 3.5 points. With that said, Brian Van Gorder coaches at Notre Dame. I'll take Florida State.
Mike.
Who would have thought at the beginning of the season that Notre Dame might be the offense that's more powerful and explosive? Jameis Winston not quite looking like last year. I got to go with Notre Dame.
All right, we got Notre Dame and an FSU. Eddie?
At Florida State, I'm taking the Noles.
All right, I got burned last time because I thought Jameis Winston was going to play, and at the last minute he didn't, and they didn't cover to Clemson. I think he won't play, and I think Notre Dame covers in this one. So it's Josh going with Notre Dame. We got Yogas going FSU. Mike is with Notre Dame. And Eddie, are you with FSU?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to the Sun Belt Conference. And App State Mountaineers struggling mightily, just lost to Liberty. FCS team, 7.5-point underdogs to Troy, who at one point was ranked, I think, either the last or second to last worst team in all of FBS. Yogas.
Oh, boy. Liberty's not a bad FCS team. They're a bad FCS Big South team that's never made the playoffs. And they beat App State. I will go with you got a real win one for the Gipper situation going on in Troy. I will go with Troy.
All right, Mike.
You can almost hear Yogas playing his sad little violin for App State there. We're all devastated. Mountaineers, come on. What's going on? We're trying to hold up the Sun Belt here. App State just struggling all over the place. Troy looks like it's found something that works. I don't know exactly what it is, but whatever it is, it's working a little bit better than App State. They're about to throw Satterfield off the mountain. I'm going with Troy.
All right, we got 2 Troys.
I have no idea, so I'm going with App State.
All right, 2 Troys and App State. Hey, you know what's interesting? Satterfield struggling like he is, there could be a coach in waiting at Western Carolina who's currently leading the Southern Conference
Catamounts
right now. I'm going with Troy. I think the bad news continues for App State. So we got 3 Troys and 1 App with Eddie, the leader. We should worry about this one. All right, we got the Georgia Bulldogs. Found out that they didn't need a girly man. They got a chub right there in their own place, and he did quite well. Georgia, 3.5-point favorites against Arkansas. Yogas, are you going to keep your trend of picking against the Bulldogs?
It's worked out for me so far this year. Pig Suey.
All right, 1 Arkansas.
They didn't need Gurley, but it was mostly because they didn't need an offense. Missouri kept throwing Georgia the ball last week, so I think that going up against an Arkansas team that has a good defense, has a pounding offense, I don't know if Georgia's got what it takes to get it done. I like Arkansas on the upset.
All right, Eddie.
Got to go with Georgia. They looked awful good last week.
All right,
I'm about to start making you pick first.
2 Arkansas, and we're going to go 2 Georgias. I'm going with the Bulldogs, too. National championship hope still alive for the Bulldogs. So UGA, we got Arkansas for Yogas, Arkansas for Mike, and Eddie's going with Georgia as well.
Also,
right.
Missouri beat South Carolina. South Carolina beat Georgia, which means Missouri technically covered last week.
All right, there you go. Go take that to your bookie and see what he says. Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets national championship hopes, what slim ones they were, went down last week when they lost to Duke. This week they're facing North Carolina. North Carolina scoring a lot of points. Georgia Tech giving 2.5 to North Carolina. Matt Yogas.
North Carolina stinks. Georgia Tech doesn't stink as bad. I'm going with Tech.
All right, Mike.
North Carolina's scoring a lot of points, but they're giving up a lot of points. Notre Dame's a good team, but it's pretty rare that you see them put 50 on anybody. Any defense that can allow points at that rate needs to be suspect. Georgia Tech's offense, they're holding up their end of the bargain. I think they make enough tackles to cover the 2.5.
All right, Eddie.
Georgia Tech will be on the rebound with Paul Johnson this week, so I'm thinking Tech.
Oh, no. Here we go. It's all four going with Georgia Tech in this
Kiss of death
game.
worked last week.
The kiss of death. Well, Georgia Tech, a lot of turnovers last week. I think they limit those this week and pull off the victory. So everybody going with the Yellow Jackets. That'll wrap up for college. Let's get into the high school games. The Statesboro Blue Devils notched their first victory of the season last week, albeit a 1-point squeaker outer there with a missed extra point proving to be the difference in the game. This week they go to Bradwell, former Blue Devil head coach or assistant coach, now the head coach, Greg Hill. I think we're all pretty familiar with his body of work, especially in college. And David Neesmith from Portal went there as well. They've been struggling. Statesboro's been struggling. Statesboro 6-point favorite. Let's begin with, we're going to start with Mike with the high school.
Have
Mike.
at it.
Well, you mentioned the two coaches coming from Statesboro ended up now at Bradwell. Familiarity is what's going to get it done for Statesboro. They're going to play a team that they know the offense. They have better athletes. I think Statesboro keeps it going 2 in a row. They win this one big.
All right, Matt.
No squeaker outer this week. I'll take the Devils.
All right.
I'm going to go with Bradwell.
Eddie's going with Bradwell.
Man, see, now he's just getting greedy.
Yes.
This could backfire so
All right,
badly for
I'm
you.
going with the Blue Devils. Yogas, Mike,
Trying.
and then
Trying to lose, guys.
it's the leader of the pack going with Bradwell. All right, the Southeast Bullock Yellow Jackets keep on rolling in the sub-region. They've picked up 2 wins. They're looking to go 3-0 in sub-region play. Have Johnson coming in. They buy out all these games. They get to play them at home, which is nice for the home fans in Brooklyn. Mike, 10-point favorite for Southeast Bullock. Johnson beat them 2 years ago.
You know, last week I believed in the Yellow Jackets, and they took that spread and they blew it out of the water. Their best game by far of the season against Savannah. If they play another game like that, they'll make this spread look like it was way too low. However, Johnson can at least score some points. They've shown some offense this year. I think SEB wins. I think they cover. I don't think it's quite as easy as last week, though.
Yogas.
SEB found a passing game. I'm sold on the Jackets.
All right.
I'll go along with that, SEB.
All right, for a clean sweep, Southeast Bullock, I think they easily cover the 10 points. And
Sorry, Coach.
Coach Collins, we apologize for this one. All right, the Portal Panthers are feeling the wrath of Mike Anthony by looking up there at the spread. They're playing Calvary. Calvary very good on the season. I believe they're number 1 in the private school side of things.
Yeah, they're getting up there.
If not 1, maybe 2. They're a 31-point favorite over Portal, who has struggled, particularly in the second half all season long. Mike, your thoughts on the 31 points?
Well, it's not my wrath that the Panthers have to worry about. It's definitely the wrath of the Cavaliers. They've got no shortage of Division I recruits on both sides of the ball. I just don't think that the Panthers have the athletes to compete in this one. I'm sure they'll go out and give it a good shot, but Calvary Day just too explosive. A bad matchup for the Panthers. 31's a huge number, but I think Calvary's going to cover it.
Matt Yogas?
What's the margin when the clock starts running?
30.
Okay, well, I think the clock starts running at 30, and it keeps Portal under 31, and they cover.
All right. Eddie?
No, I'll go with Calvary in this one.
All right,
Too
Mike.
good.
Mike Anthony wearing his Calvary purple this week. we'll have to show John Willoughby that he not only gave him a 31-point deficit, but he went with Calvary as well. All right, so I'm going with Portal. So is it me on an island or wait? No, Mike's taking.
I'm taking Calvary.
All right. Matt Yogas is taking Portal. Mike's taking Calvary, and Eddie. Calvary as well. All right. Wrapping things up, the Bullock Academy Gators in the midst of a couple-game win streak here. They won last week at their head coach's former team. This week it's Frederica, where their former coach used to coach. Let's get into this one. 14-point BA, 14-point favorites in this one, Mike.
That lack of a bye week, that 11-game schedule doesn't seem to be bothering the Gators one bit. They're a little dinged up, but for the most part, they're as healthy as you can be at this point in the season. And they've got a truckload of momentum, 2 wins in a row. They've gotten over the hump of last year. More importantly, they're 1-0 in region play. They can move to 2-0 with the win over Frederica, pretty much assuring themselves a trip to the state playoffs for the first time in a couple years. And they still have a little bit of fire going for Frederica, stealing their coach, Clint Morgan. They win this one big because Terrence Hennessy doing just as good a job. BA by 3 touchdowns.
Matt Yogas.
I'm sold.
All right, we got 2 BAs. You're wearing BA green. What are you going to do?
Make it 3.
All right. And a clean sweep for the Gators. I'm not going to go with Frederica. We're going with Bullock Academy. So everybody going with BA, everybody going with SEB, and everybody going with Georgia Tech. So those are the ones to look out for this week. Well, that'll wrap things up. For Matt Yogus, Mike Anthony, and Eddie Ledbetter, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us for Pigskin Pick'em. Hope to see you again next week.